it will finally include dental care, hearing aids, and eyeglasses.
But you don't know
Second of all,
you don't know that,
second
Bernie.
of all,
We'll come to you in a second,
I do know, and I
Congressman.
wrote the damn bill. You know? And second of all, many of our union brothers and sisters, nobody more pro-union than me up here, are now paying high deductibles and co-payments. And when we do Medicare for all, instead of having the company putting money into health care, they can get decent wage increases, which they're not getting today.
That was Bernie Sanders, was his signature legislation. It's all he was campaigning on. And so healthcare was the number one issue for voters.
Yeah.
Going into that election. And going into Super Tuesday. But the Democratic establishment didn't love that somebody who's actually not a Democrat, because Bernie Sanders is an independent, was about to win the Democratic nomination, didn't think he would defeat Donald Trump, felt like Joe Biden could. Joe Biden was not in second. Joe Biden was not in third. He was back.
Wow.
And that Amy Klobuchar, Mayor Pete, pulled out, threw their full support behind Joe Biden, and literally in the 3 to 4 days leading up to Super Tuesday, totally flipped who was going to win that nomination. So it's kind of almost strange to think back, because since then COVID happened.
Yeah.
So we
don't remember anything before that.
But Medicare for all was the election issue. And for President Obama, healthcare reform was his number one election. And so voters, when you look at polling, what is the one issue that consistently the American people say they trust the Democrats more than the Republicans? The one issue more than any other that they cite on that is healthcare. The American people believe that the Democratic Party can better handle the healthcare issue than Republicans, because Republicans haven't really had much for healthcare policy. They had, if you remember, repeal and replace.
Yes.
Which was their attempt to get rid of Obamacare, which John McCain had the famous Senate vote where he went up in front and puts his thumb down, and it was a big moment in his career. As a healthcare nerd, I remember all these things. The Republicans really were in a repeal and erase, because they couldn't replace it. They didn't have anything to replace it with. Haven't really had that. And voters kind of feel that from the Republican side, that, I don't know on healthcare. I kind of hear the Democrats, whether it's Medicare for all or Obamacare or other, they seem to have more ideas.
Yeah.
And so when elections elevate, or when the issue of healthcare elevates to the top in elections, the blue team wins those elections.
Huh.
When
Of course they're going to elevate
when
that.
healthcare falls, which in the last presidential election, healthcare fell off the table. Wasn't a priority for the Trump campaign. Didn't even have a real platform on that. And the Biden campaign, before it became the Harris campaign, they were kind of like, hey, let's just keep doing what we're doing. Protect Obamacare was kind of protect and build Obamacare. The Harris campaign didn't have time to try to pivot, because she was actually, if you go back in history for Kamala Harris, she was actually a co-sponsor of Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All legislation.
Whoa.
She not only voted for it, she was a co-sponsor of that legislation.
Wow.
Correct.
Didn't know that.
So where she was individually was not where she was as vice president. So healthcare kind of got pushed off, and we went to, threat to democracy with the January 6th stuff, immigration on the Republican end, secure the border. That's kind of what this last presidential election came. Those were really the issues that they kind of were talking about. It wasn't healthcare. So here we go into midterms next year. Where was healthcare on voters' minds? Way in the background. It's not on anybody's radar screen.
Yeah.
So what this shutdown gives the blue team, not the red team, the opportunity to do is to elevate healthcare and healthcare inflation and cost and coverage. Use this as a time in every speech they give to talk about the cost of healthcare, drive home the message in advance of the midterm elections next year
Right.
to try to elevate that. So if you look at it and say, why are we having this shutdown? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Kind of what are we fighting about? Well, the only thing that we're really fighting about is how much publicity can we get regarding healthcare subsidies. And this was a time trap